What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we are here for a full gear review for it's November the 13th, 2021. This show was not the best pay-per-view in AEW history. That is still All Out. Does it have the better pay-per-view main event? Yes. But the Tag Team Championship match on that show, that cage match, you can't top that, even with FTR. The women's match had the shittiest ending of the entire year. That title has been just dragged through the mud week in and week out, and it looks weaker, and it's losing all of its credibility. All the little bit of credibility that Shida was able to put on it for her entire title reign that went a year is all just eroded away. You had a 10-man tag team match that nobody should have gave a shit about. Dan Lambert and American Top Team had no business being in this company. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't wait for that shit to be over. And then you had Cody Rhodes and Pac taking on Andrade El Idolo and Malachi Black in a match that fucking sucked ass. While compared to All Out, you had a women's title match that was a lot better than this one because Chris Statlander carried that bitch to a fucking, I'd say, 2-star match. It's hard to get any stars with the champion that you have right now. And you had QT Marshall versus Paul White. Everything else on that match was a fucking home run. Plus the debuts of Ruby Soho. Plus the debut of Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki all making their debuts for AEW on that show. This couldn't top that show whether you like it or not. Even though this had a damn good opener with MJF and Darby Allin. That was how you open the show. If there is one thing, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, if there is one thing AEW does on Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, whenever they have a show that's live on TV or live on pay-per-view, the one thing you are going to get is a damn good opening match. Mostly bangers. And again, there was another damn good match, but before we got to that, we had a pre-show. On the pre-show, before we even got to the match, Tony Schiavone was in the middle of the ring. Excalibur was by himself. He brings out Minneapolis' own Dante Martin, who Team Taz tried to recruit last night at Rampage. Martin, when Leo Rush was away, Leo Rush is still at home with his family. He won't be back till Wednesday night, which he does have. We will have a match with Leo Rush and Martin on Wednesday night. So Martin was asked about his thoughts about the offer before he could say much. Out comes the Acclaimed. Now, of course, Max Caster with his rapping, like, Leo Rush can't hang in this environment. He's about to go in his 15th retirement. He says there's only one thing, like, Martin's the only good thing about this depressing ass town, which you could tell that Martin was not too happy about them shitting on his hometown. Now, but, like, they want him to join the Acclaimed. I don't know who thought this was, like, this is just setting up the match for Wednesday night. It's going to be the Acclaimed versus Dante Martin and Leo Rush. They want an answer right here, right now. He just beats the hell out of both of them, and that is that. We get to the match. Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. The match was just a tag team match. It was whatever. It's the 4 women who are going up against each other in the TBS tournament. Thunder Rosa will take on Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida will take on Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose and Hikaru Shida's match will actually be this coming Wednesday. But I gotta say this about Jamie Hayter. She has got to calm it down. She is taking some nasty ass bumps. Last time Rosa was in that 6-woman tag match, I think it was this past Wednesday, right? Thunder Rosa went up top and hit a crossbody onto Jamie Hayter, and Jamie Hayter hit the mat below with a thud. Did the same exact spot tonight, same thud. Later on in the women's title match, she gets taken out by Tay Conti and hits her head again. I am very surprised Jamie Hayter does not have a concussion with how much she is just beating the shit, or getting the shit beat out of her head. Babyfaces win. It was a match. It was just to get these 4 women on Full Gear somehow, because you have a shitty-ass women's champion having to go up against Tay Conti. Tay Conti is definitely improved, and I'll talk about Tay Conti when we get to that match. So, before we get to the show, we did get Tony Schiavone backstage with the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy about what happened last night at Rampage, where Matt cheated to win, and the Best Friends pretty much got left laying. And I thought, well, this is over. This is over. Please tell me this is over. Nope. On Wednesday night, it will be the Butcher and the Blade versus Orange Cassidy and a partner of his choosing. Now, Cassidy says people have been working so hard, like the Best Friends and everything. He's gonna give them the night off. So he mentions that they just joined the stable Chaos, and he said, "You know what? I think I'm gonna bring one of my dogs." Which Tomohiro Ishii, who is known as the Stone Pitbull, is a member of Chaos. Tomohiro Ishii should be having a match on Battle of the Valley sometime tonight against Jay White, I believe it is, for the Never Openweight Championship. I believe that's the match. And if Ishii doesn't win, he can never challenge for the title again, so he's probably going to win the title. Anyway, so yes, it's official. Tomohiro Ishii is going to be teaming with Orange Cassidy to take on the Butcher and the Blade. That should be very fucking interesting. Oh, my mouse is stuck for a second. So, Tony Schiavone and Jimmy Rush join commentary. We have them run down the card. We go to the pay-per-view. MJF versus Darby Allin. This was awesome. When MJF talked about these two guys, Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara, being the four pillars, he wasn't kidding. This was damn good. But I have to ask MJF a question, man. What the hell were you doing to your knee? There was a point in this match where MJF caught Darby Allin and went for a powerbomb, and during this entire match, MJF's knee gets fucked up from start to finish. He is just, his knee, like, you can hear him screaming. He's like, oh shit! Like, just going, like, screaming and yelling every single time something happens to his knee. Well, he picks Darby Allin up during this match, powerbombs him onto the injured knee, and I'm thinking, like, MJF, what are you fucking doing? That's really stupid. You could fuck yourself up. And I was thinking, oh, this is just going to be because he's overselling. He's screaming in pain. He's saying, oh, shit. I'm thinking, oh, they're going to have MJF, like, pretend, like, have this injury to his knee. But then at the end of the match, he's going to probably feign, like, walk it off as if nothing's wrong. But no. He, the entire match, played up the knee injury. Now, this went back and forth. Neither one of these guys could get ahead of the other one. Hell, Sting wasn't out there. Wardlow wasn't out there. Shawn Spears wasn't out there to start the match. Towards the end of the match, Shawn Spears and Wardlow tried to come out and help, but Sting, with his trusty bat, beats the hell out of both of these guys. MJF's had enough. He's trying to win this match by hook or by crook. Goes out, gets Darby's skateboard. He comes in, gets down on his knees, he hands the board over and tells him to hit, and he wants Darby Allin to hit him with that board and for Darby to get disqualified. Darby, of course, doesn't do it. He hands the board to the referee. The referee takes it and gets it out of there, but but MJF pulls the diamond ring out of his tights, hits Darby Allin. And MJF said he was going to win this match, and he can beat Darby Allin with a headlock takeover, which he attempted multiple times in this match. Even Darby got a headlock takeover in this match to try and get a pin. But he hits him with the ring, headlock takeover, claps the fingers together and pulls one of the legs up and gets the pin and the win. MJF beats Darby Allin as he should have. By this time next year, MJF will be your AEW champion. I just have that feeling. They're just giving him so many wins. He beat Jericho 3 times. He only lost to Jericho because of his own foolishness. He's winning a lot of high-profile matches. I can't see Hangman, the winner of tonight's match, not lose the title. I think MJF wins it at either Double or Nothing, or either Revolution or Double or Nothing. I think that's where we're going with MJF winning the world title. Double or Nothing seems more of the spot to get MJF the world championship. Give the championship as long as it is. But yeah, I could see that being where that goes. Lucha Bros with Alex Ambrijantes versus FTR with Tully Blanchard for the AEW World Tag Team titles. They tell you up and down, like, leading up to this match, that it's kind of bizarre because the champions made the challenge for the match, even though I'm pretty sure that's not the first time that's happened in AEW. They make it sound like it is, but I'm pretty sure it's not. So, this is the first two matches, and my God, the way this pay-per-view went, the first two matches, I'm like, this is going to be, honestly, this could be one of the best pay-per-views of the year. The best pay-per-view of the year. Hell, the first three matches of this card would put this in line for the best pay-per-view of the year. But there are a couple matches on this card that just yanks that below Double or Nothing. I'm not Double or Nothing, but All Out. Now, this was a good match. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler are awesome. The Lucha Bros are fucking awesome. I can't wait for the day that we get a Lucha Bro versus Lucha Bro for the world title, because it has to happen. Pentagon or Phoenix, I could see them getting a singles run as the world champion somewhere down the line, or even hell, TNT champion, and then we have the Lucha Bros face off against each other. We got that one time last year in the Eliminator Tournament, and that was a damn good match. I would love to see it happen again. It doesn't happen all the time, but obviously the Lucha Bros were not losing this match. It was announced, I think, earlier this week that at Triple Mania, I think it's a Triple Mania, whatever they're doing in AAA on December 5th, I think it's December 5th, the Lucha Bros and FTR are going to fight for the tag team titles. One, I think that's a little bit too much. I think they should have given that title match to somebody else who's not affiliated with AEW in Mexico. I will say that FTR walking into Mexico anti-luchador wrestling is going to make them the most hated guys in that match, in that arena that night. That's going to be great. You noticed a lot tonight that people were paying tribute to Eddie Guerrero. Well, 16 years ago today, Eddie Guerrero passed away. The CM Punk, the Lucha Bros, the Dax Wheeler, I think it was Cash Wheeler or Dax Harwood, mocked the the Three Amigos, even though he did a better Three Amigos than Penta did, which was kind of funny. That if you looked at the two different versions, Dax did it the way Eddie did it, and Penta did it just some weird way. But obviously, this match was going to go the Lucha Bros way. Now, the thing of this is that towards the end of the match, the Lucha Bros are in control. FTR is on the outside. For whatever reason, they put their masks on. They found their masks that they wore to the ring to steal the tag team title, the AAA tag team titles from the Lucha Bros. Unfortunately, Cash Wheeler, I believe it was, Cash Wheeler has his mask on, and he's not the legal man. So he gets hit with the spiked power driver, assisted spiked power driver by the Lucha Bros. 1, 2, 3. He picks up, the Lucha Bros pick up the win. And Penta pulls the mask off. Referee doesn't say anything. FTR's pissed. The Tully Blanchard's pissed. Their plan backfired because what they probably were planning to do was have Cash Wheeler get pinned, come in and say, "Oh no, he's not the legal man. This guy's the legal man. You got to restart the match." But that didn't happen, which is interesting because in any other company you would have seen that probably fucking happen, where a guy gets pinned who's not the legal man, do the same exact type of thing, the mask gets pulled off, and it's like, whoa, that's not the right guy. WWE's done that with the Bella Twins, and I think the Usos as well, where they were in tag team matches, and the wrong twin got pinned. So clearly, that's not over with. Miro versus Bryan Danielson, AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament Finals. Who will take on the winner of Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega? At a date we don't know yet. Now, I know Battle for the Belts is going to be in January, but are we really going to hold off the winner of this match versus the AEW World Champion till that long? I mean, we could do a winner is coming type thing in December, which they haven't announced any type of special event, special pay-per-views quality show, or pay-per-view-esque show in December, which is very odd. They usually do. However, Again, three matches in, and we have ourselves another damn good match. Bryan Danielson, I swear, is out there to get hurt and hurt people as he's going. And Miro is just out there to hurt everybody and win championships and get back to his lovely, bendable wife. So they mentioned how Miro has taped his quad. Now, when he had the match against Orange Cassidy 2 weeks ago. He had just a little strip. Tonight, he had the entire quad taped up. I think he just has a new tattoo underneath of there, and that's what he's just wrestling. He just has it like that to let it heal. I've seen Dave Bautista do that before too. Maybe other wrestlers do that too. But they mentioned how he's having issues with it. Danielson tries to pull that into his repertoire to go with that and beat him that way. And this one, again, another back and forth banger of a match. 3 for 3 with 3 up. With 3 pay-per-view matches in and with 3 up. This was a damn good match. I could see these guys wrestle again. Miro came out there and he fought. Bryan Danielson went out there, he fought. He got thrown around. He got kicks in. He got punches in. And there was a part in the match where Bryan Danielson, it's later in the match, and you figure both these guys would be exhausted after all this fighting and everything. Miro is standing up. He's got his third or fourth wind or whatever it is. It's like he took a power pellet and got all of his strength back because he's just standing there and he's putting his arm up, telling Danielson to kick him in the side. Danielson does a couple times. Miro kicks him once and Danielson falls. He's like, come on, Danielson, hit me. Does it a couple more times, kicks him again, he falls. And they do that a few more times, and Miro is just dominating Bryan Danielson as if it was almost as if this Miro we were seeing at this part of the match, Bryan Danielson just went through fighting Miro for the first half of the match, and then he beat that Miro, and then it's a gauntlet match, so the new Miro comes in, this part of Miro comes in, and Bryan Danielson's tired as shit while this portion of Miro is just I'm fresh as a daisy, I'm gonna kick your ass. That's how it felt like. It's Brian, I don't know where this came from, but Miro just got up and was just I'm ready to beat your ass, and you can hit me all you want. It ain't gonna faze me. Now, they did kind of give away who was gonna win this match in the video packages because Bryan Danielson said all the years that he's known Miro, he has never defeated him. That right there is a recipe for telling me that Bryan Danielson is going to win this match. And yes, Bryan Danielson does win the match. But here's something that Bryan Danielson's been doing every single match. He wins, I think he's won all of his matches by submission. It's been different submissions every single time. He's won with the label lock, he's won with with the Tequila Sunrise this past week against Rocky Romero. I believe he's won with the cross arm breaker. He won tonight with a guillotine choke out of a DDT. Just choke the guy out. Now, of course, that's Moxley's finisher when he beats people with a submission. So maybe that would have been what they would maybe they planned this match the same way with Miro instead of Moxley. I don't know, but this is definitely gonna be one of these. It was a damn good match, but you're gonna wonder what would have happened had it been Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson as it was supposed to be. The Young Bucks, Adam Cole, to Super Click versus Jurassic Express and Christian Cage. This was a good match, but it felt like this one just drug on way too long. There were parts of this match towards the end of it, and it's that's going to be the finish. Oh, no, it's not. It just felt like they were dragging this as long as far as they could just to drag it along. And, hey, first time for blood tonight because Adam Cole, he bladed, obviously, in this match. Just tables. There were people going through tables. We had Luchasaurus get thrown, elbow drop through a table. Adam Cole was thrown through a table. Or chokes. There was just chair shots. There were tables. The crowd loves the tables. I don't know why the crowd still loves tables. It's something I don't know why that, we want tables. I guess it's an old ECW thing. I have no idea. But this was good. Now, The problem I have with Falls Count Anywhere matches like this is that it spent too much time in the ring. It's a Falls Count Anywhere. Why are you guys wrestling in the ring? The first time we had something that was away from the ring is that Christian Cage and I think it was Matt, it was one of the Young Bucks, were up in the concourse area fighting for a bit. Michael Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler went with him. Brandon Cutler sprayed the Buck in the face with the cold spray when he was meant to do it to Christian Cage. Christian, of course, moved. Now, Christian, of course, decided he was going to go up high enough and just dive on everybody and take everybody out. Okay, cool. That spot's just way overdone. I am so tired of seeing the let's all gather together, folks, so we can catch this person as they fall on us. I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate it. Now, so Matt and Nick find the little black bag of thumbtacks, and I'm thinking, you just had a women's hardcore match on the night before Halloween with a whole thing of thumbtacks. You're a little overdoing it with the thumbtacks, don't you think? But to their credit, they pulled out some thumbtacks, but they only used them in Jungle Boy's mouth. They put them in his mouth, pushed his mouth closed. Adam Cole has him in a recliner. They do the kiss thing, and then they kick him in the face, and that was the only thing they saw. The only thing they did for thumbtacks, which was fine. I also got to mention that Christian Cage and Jungle Boy dressed for a street fight because they were both wearing nothing, but they were wearing jeans. While the Super Click were pink and black. We had a DDT sending Nick into a ladder, Luchasaurus. Like that ladder, they got a ladder and they stacked it up and they wedged it into the second and third turn, the middle in between the second and third turnbuckle, so it was like laying down, and everybody and their brother got thrown on this, chokeslammed and everything. It just like that ladder took a beating and everybody around with it. We get up to the stage, everybody's up there now. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but like Jungle Boy, like I think it was Matt was trying to get away from Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy just ran out of nowhere. Like I have no idea where the fuck he came from, but he just came out of nowhere from the top of the stage and took him down, put him in the snare trap. Cole runs up to stop it. Christian was thinking kill switch off the stage, eats a super kick, which they were trying to do these off the stage spots, but there was no table below, so obviously nobody was going off the stage unless there was going to be a bunch of people down there to catch everybody. Low blows to everybody on the babyface side. Christian sends Nick into a scaffolding. Cole with a big kick to a charging Christian. My God, that like anytime somebody does a running, like starts charging at somebody and they eat a super kick, it just looks brutal. Cole decides he's gonna do Jungle Boy tries to climb the scaffolding, and the scaffolding, like they actually did surprisingly a different entrance way for Full Gear. Instead of the two big pipes, we had these like two like small little sections. We had they had two screens off to the side, but they had scaffolding. And Jungle Boy tried to go up. You could only go up a little bit because the like halfway of the scaffolding and like a little bit up, there was a bunch of gears for Full Gear. So Adam Cole pulls him down. Adam Cole gets on the scaffolding and actually hits the Panama Sunrise. Thinking that was, I was like, that's got to be it. That moment right there, I'm like, this is it. Match is over. Good. But no, of course it wasn't. Luchasaurus stops the cover. Cole brings out thumbtack sleeves. Here's the other thing that did for thumbtacks. Cole comes out with another bag. This time it's a lot bigger. And pulls out these sleeves. So they put them on their knee pads. And they all, and this was unnecessary because it's like, they do the BTE trigger on Luchasaurus, but it looks like they don't even hit hardly with any of the thumbtacks. They all try to triple cover him. Jungle breaks it up. Everybody hitting big moves on the stage. Luchasaurus chokeslams Cole off the stage down to on 3 people. He then hits a shooting star press onto a bunch of people, which did not look impressive at all. When he chokeslammed Cole off, it was Michael Nakazawa, Brandon Cutler, and I believe one of the Young Bucks. He chokeslammed onto that. But when he went to do the shooting star press, like a bunch of security guys came over to help catch him. It didn't look very impressive at all. That leaves Matt by himself. Christian spears him. He goes and grabs 2 chairs and puts one down under his head. Jungle Boy comes up and is like, I want to do it. Christian hands him the chair, goes, walks away, and I'm thinking, is this what Christian Cage is going to turn heel? Because it feels like they were going to do a heel turn for a while, and then they axed that when Hangman and Page had to leave for a few months. But he walks away. Jungle Boy with the concerto. 1, 2, 3. The baby faces, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage get the win. Cody with Pat Arn Anderson and Pac versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. I'll talk about that match in a second. This 6-man tag match, like the 6-man street fight, Paul's kind of nowhere. It was good, but again, it just felt like it just drug out. The Panama Sunrise could have been the end. There were so many times when it's like this should have been the end, but they kept dragging it out until we got a concerto. Like, okay, so Adam Cole ate a concerto a couple weeks ago. Wouldn't it have made more sense had Christian Cage eaten a concerto in that big brawl, or Jungle Boy ate the concerto in that big brawl that they had, and then come to the pay-per-view, Jungle Boy hits the concerto on one of them to get his revenge. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense why they did that. Like, I just don't know. A lot of good spots, a lot of cool spots. People going through tables, people using chairs. A ladder got a lot of abuse lobbied towards it. It was a fun match, but it felt like it went a little too long. Again, this tag team match that honestly could have been left off the card, and I think the card would have been a little bit better. The show ended at midnight. About midnight. So we went about 5 hours, almost. It felt like. But this match, I hated this match. Absolutely hated this match. How many times do we have to do the, can they coexist? The match starts, and Pac's in there. Andrade says something to Cody. Cody waves Pac over, like, come over here, I want to come in, and I want to take on Andrade. Pac doesn't oblige. Pac comes, they start circling the ring. Cody tags in. Here we go. We're going to do this a million times over. So Cody gets in there. They start circling a little bit. And then Pac tags in. And I'm like, I am done with this match. I mean, the wrestling was fine. But I didn't really care for the... And then Andrade and Malachi were doing the same thing multiple times. Where one would blind tag in and the other one... And the guy would be like, what the fuck? I was doing something. What the fuck? It's just... They overbooked this match. Cody eats a black mass. He falls to the floor. He does take forever to get back up, which is fine for selling it. Which left Pac in a world of trouble when it was a 2-on-1 for a while. But after Cody got up onto the apron, he stopped selling it. He stopped selling it as if nothing was wrong. Got in the ring, got to hit some high marks. Didn't even he didn't even stumble a little bit. Why didn't you sell it? Like, you should have been, like, he got hit with the black mass. He should have been selling that shit the rest of the match. So, Black and Cody spill to the floor. Black with a boot sends Cody into the front row. Black stuck over there, too. Pac sends Andrade into the corner, nails a poison run on Andrade, heads to the top, hits the black arrow, 1, 2, 3. Cody and Pac win. Because, of course, Cody has to win on pay-per-view. Cody lost to Darby Allin last year, and I think that was the last time on pay-per-view he lost. Yeah, it's the last time he lost on pay-per-view, because he beat... did he even have a match at Revolution? I don't think so, but he beat the other guy. He beat the other guy from the factory who we haven't seen. Oh yeah, Anthony Ogogo. He beat him and ruined the entire reason behind the factory. But yeah, Malachi Black and Andrade should have won this. There's no reason to eat. Like, with how much you had Cody and Pac at each other, like, just blind tagging and shit, it's like, why am I even going to care about this? I don't even want to see this anymore. AEW's got a problem, and I don't know why. They have a problem with just prolonging feuds for weeks and months and years. I don't want to see these feuds anymore. It's like, enough, move on. This is it. They won. Good for them. Let's move on. Post-match, Cash Wheeler told the bench to come out some cheap shots on Pac and Cody. Commentary noted the Pinnacle sold the service of FTR and Andrade to Black and Andrade for 2 weeks. And then we have what was, I think, the worst match of the night. This was atrocious. This was absolutely atrocious. How can you let somebody get kicked in the head 3 times by a judo black belt, get up as if nothing's happened, and then win and retain your championship? Who the fuck booked the end of this goddamn match? This woman, Tay Conti, I will say this, Tay Conti, how far she has come since her WWE release. Taynara Conti was in NXT for years. They did nothing with her. They wanted nothing to do with her, it felt like. She was being held there for no goddamn reason other than they just didn't want her to go to AEW. That's how they would do this. And she comes here, still very fucking green because WWE did nothing with her. She was in WWE for 4 years. Hardly did anything, barely ever won a match. I mean, they did the whole, like, have her hold the black belt up, give it a kiss, all that shit. She didn't do anything. She didn't really, like, have any development. Gets fired, comes here, and a year and a half later is in the main event, not in the main event, but in a big pay-per-view title match for the Women's Championship. Something that just probably wouldn't have happened anywhere else. So, the match was, it was meh. This championship title reign is absolutely atrocious. The woman can't fucking win a match on her own. The woman is being booked way too fucking strong. There was literally no reason for her, like, Tay Conti hits the DDT, she kicks out. Tay Conti hits the her other finisher, she kicks out. She gets kicked in the head 3 fucking times in a row, and she blows it off as if she's fucking Superwoman. Are you fucking kidding me? Get this title off of her ASAP, put it on somebody who knows how to fucking work, knows how to fucking put somebody else over, and can actually make the person they're fighting come out of the match looking better than when they went in. They made Taynara Conti look like a fucking joke. They made her look like a geek with the way that match ended. Are you fucking kidding me? You had JR and Excalibur and Tony Schiavone talk Conti up so much in those video packages that you talked about, and on the countdown, on the pre-show, on everything, and that's how you want to fucking do this match? Give me a fucking break. This women's division is a fucking joke as long as the championship is on the one of the worst champions in professional wrestling history. Yes, I said it. She sucks. She is always going to suck, and until that title comes off of her, this women's division will never get better. And this killed the fucking crowd. Crowd was booing, not because Baker won. Oh, apparently she's... Can you believe those fucking, like, that asshat who was doing the predictions with Ross Twiddell in Cultaholic said Baker is the most popular woman in AEW. Has this dumb fuck not ever watched Thunder Rosa come out or have Thunder Rosa in a wrestling match? Thunder Rosa is the most over woman, most popular woman in this company, and should be the next AEW Women's Champion. When should that match happen? January 8th, Battle of the Belts. She beats the champion, and then Jamie Hayter can go off and do her own thing and hopefully not just damn near kill herself. Rebel can go back to makeup, and Britt Baker can go back to being a jobber on Dark, where she fucking belongs. Period. Hey, look, something that everyone wanted to see. This was a fight. Eddie Kingston, CM Punk. Only one man could get CM Punk booed in this company right now. And that man's name is Eddie Kingston. Man, Eddie Kingston, man, everybody loves Eddie. No, it's clamoring time. No anything. No theatrics. CM Punk comes out and he's just heading to the ring. Kingston's hands are taped. You know when your hands are his hands are taped, he's ready to bust somebody up. and he busted CM Punk up. CM Punk was bleeding. And when I mean bleeding, I believe he was hard way. Because he's just like gushing. You can tell, unless you hit an artery when you blade, when somebody blades just a little, it just barely leaks. CM Punk's, like, the one half of CM Punk's face was nothing but red for a majority of this match. Now, before the match happened, these guys are getting in each other's face. The referee's trying to back them up so he can ring the bell. Eddie Kingston's like, fuck this shit. Big back fist to fucking CM Punk. And CM Punk fell over like he died. Like he just got shot and his corpse was falling to the floor. And he gets up and it looked like he had that look of, can I get the number for that Mack truck that just hit me? Holy shit. So CM Punk finally gets himself to rest on the ropes, and he just flips the bird to Eddie Kingston and tells the ref, ring the damn bell. Let's get this fight going on. So Kingston gets to CM Punk. He starts biting him. He's beating the shit out of him. This wasn't a match. This was a fucking Pier 6 brawl fight. Eddie Kingston didn't, as Eddie said, winning and losing this match does not matter. He just wants to beat up CM Punk, and he beat up CM Punk. CM Punk beat him up too. But the thing of it is that, yes, there were Let's Go Eddie CM Punk chants during the majority of this match. But there were many times in this match, everybody cheered Eddie, and everybody booed Punk. Like, Punk was going for something, and he just looked, he was like, he hears the boos, and he's just looking at the crowd like, damn. Could we possibly see a CM Punk heel run coming up very soon? I know AEW is a little over the top with heels, but people, like, from day one in August when CM Punk made his debut at First Dance till this feud with Eddie started, he had been cheered everywhere he went. Eddie Kingston got people to boo CM Punk. That is very hard to do at this time, at this time in CM Punk, because CM Punk is the great CM Punk, as Eddie Kingston would call him. So the fact that Eddie Kingston is loved by everybody. He's the guy who would go out and cut a fucking promo to thank the fans, drag on WWE and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just holy shit. The fact that CM Punk was being booed on this night just tells you all you need to know about everyone's love for Eddie Kingston. But you wanted to fight, you gotta fucking fight. They glare at each other across the ring. They charge in the middle of the ring, and we get the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn hold the back of each other's head and just start whacking beating the shit out of each other. Kingston mocks the GTS. Punk then ends up cracking with his own GTS. He can't capitalize. Kingston goes for a move but doesn't connect. Punk with elbows to Kingston's head. Crowd is booing. Punk is looking around and he starts giving him some knees to the fucking face. He hits him with the GTS finally. 1, 2, 3. What a goddamn fist fight, JR says, and I have to agree. What a fucking fight. Whatever that women's title, the end of that women's title match killed the momentum of the crowd, this brought it back up. My God. These two beat the living shit out of each other. After the match, of course, Kingston's not moving. CM Punk finally stumbles to his feet. You know CM Punk was in a battle when he gets up after, a few minutes of exhaustion. He finally gets up, only to stumble back down. That's when you know somebody's in a fight, and that's when you know someone got their ass kicked. Punk goes over and watches Eddie get up, holding out the hand, wanting to shake his hand, and Eddie Kingston bails out of the ring. If you think this is over with, you're sadly mistaken. I could see this being something we see down the road, and I could see these guys going at it again at Revolution. Maybe there's people talking about maybe Bryan Danielson and CM Punk teaming up to take on and heel Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I don't know how those plans are going to go with the fact that Jon Moxley is now in inpatient alcohol rehab, so we'll have to see what happens there. But this was a fight. This could have been a main event on any episode of Wednesday night that they wanted to. This was fucking great. This helped save the show before the main event. What I didn't care about, Inner Circle versus Men of the Year, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Olaski, and Dan Lambert, Minneapolis street fight. I have to ask professional wrestling companies and WWE, why do we do this? This was a street fight. No disqualification. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Why do we start this as a normal tag team match? Why didn't everybody get in the middle of the ring? The bell rings. They all start brawling. Dan Lambert goes and hides behind Justin Roberts while everyone else brawls. Why did we treat this as an actual fucking tag team match for the beginning of it? I just don't understand it. They did, before this match, announce that Baron von Raschke was in the crowd at ringside. You knew the minute they announced him there, you knew he was going to get involved. So he ends up giving the Iron Claw. And I saw this guy and I'm like, this motherfucker, this old motherfucker is still alive. Holy shit, he's got to be fucking old. But yeah, this was a match. It was a comedy match. I didn't give a shit about it. I didn't care. I did not fucking care. The only thing that you had to see was the fact that, yeah, Baron von Raschke is 81 years old. Damn. But is the fact that after everybody got taken out, Santana had, I believe it was Ethan Page in the crowd, asked this big husky security guard to come over, get on your hands and knees, because everyone else was taken out by this time in the match. Everyone was down and they ain't getting back up. So he has this guy get on his hands and knees so he could do a assisted splat tope over the guardrail onto Ethan Page. Like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? I didn't think I'd see that in 2021. So yeah, Dan Lambert's in the ring. He's posing. He's celebrating, thinking he's the last man standing. Jericho comes in. He tortures him for a bit. Dan Lambert does try to, Jericho had him down, was going to go for the lion salt, but they had a spot there that Junior Dos Santos was supposed to come up and punch him. So you could quite clearly hear Jericho's yell, "Junior!" when he's going up, so he can alert Junior to hit him. So Lambert goes for the pin, gets a 2. He goes to put him in the walls of in the Boston Crab. Jericho gets a kendo stick, beats him up with it for a bit, knocks Junior Dos Santos over. Goes up top. He looks up to the sky, does a little shimmy, and then gets up on the top rope, hits a very bad looking frog splash in honor of Eddie Guerrero. 1, 2, 3. They pick up the win. I could care less. However, right before the main event, we haven't had a single debut in this show to this point. No Bryant, no Wyatt, no nobody, no nothing. So Tony Schiavone is on the stage. My voice is kind of fucked up because I was screaming at the top of my lungs for this. Tony Schiavone is on the top of the stage and says, "We have a special guest here tonight, someone who's been champion all over the world. Please welcome Jay Lethal." I lost my shit. I love Jay Lethal. I loved Jay Lethal when he was in Impact Wrestling. He was one of the best things about TNA back in the day. I love the Black Machismo gimmick, which with Too Fast, Too Fuego happening on Dark and another character coming up very, very soon after we get done with these live episodes, which is in 2 weeks. I'm hoping because the Lanny Poffo has given him the blessing to use the Black Machismo whenever he wants to. I mean, he got approval from fucking Macho Man before Macho Man died to do the fucking gimmick until Macho Man died is when he stopped doing it. And he pulled it out, I believe, at All In. That was Black Machismo. Jay Lethal came back with Lanny Poffo in his corner. I'm hoping that on Dark and Dark Only, we could see the Black Machismo, oh yeah, Jay Lethal make a return 1 or 2 times. But he comes in, he says, I heard this thing about this forbidden door. And I found this forbidden door, I walked through it, and now Jay Lethal is all elite. I am so fucking happy for this dude. I'm glad he never went to WWE. Outside of before AEW started, I was hoping Jay Lethal would have came to NXT because he would have been a fucking great fucking ad. He would have been like a Ricochet and all those other guys, but I'm glad he never went there. The only reason this is happening is because Ring of Honor is not going to have contracted talent anymore. It's great pickup for AEW. This is awesome. Jay Lethal, I've watched Jay Lethal since the mid 2000s TNA days. His time in the X Division, his time as the Black Machismo. I love this guy's work. I haven't got to watch much of his Ring of Honor work. I watched him when he was in WCPW. He was the reason. No shit. When What Culture Pro Wrestling started, yes, you had Adam and all those guys, but he was the reason I tuned in and watched other guys from the British independent scene that I never seen before. Jay Lethal was the reason Jay Lethal in those first few episodes of What Culture Pro Wrestling's show that they had is just, it's when a new promotion starts, you come for the name talent, you stay to see what they have that you haven't seen before. Why John Moxley, Chris Jericho, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and let me think. Yeah, those guys right there. They were the established talent when AEW started. People were going to come gravitate to AEW to watch them had they not seen a Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, a Sammy Guevara, Santana Ortiz, MJF, all those guys that you see now. Jay Lethal, for that, was what Culture Pro Wrestling needed when they made their start, because I never seen a Martin Kirby or any of these other guys who were on those first, Big Damo, who was he, Joe Hendry, who was he, Rampage, who was he. I didn't know any of those guys, but I knew Jay Lethal. So when Adam Pacitti announced that they had Jay Lethal for those tapings, they also had Noam Dar. Never saw him before. I still love that match between him and Jay Lethal and Noam Dar. That was awesome. But when they announced that they had him for those tapings, I'm like, yes, they're there, and it would have been whatever, but it's I'm going to check this out just to see what happens, and Jay Lethal was there for the first set of tapings up until their first pay-per-view, and he helped establish that company for the 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, whatever they were around. So it's great to see that he gets national TV time. The last time he was on national TV, of course, it was Impact Wrestling when they were on Spike. Hogan, of course, fired him, which was fucking pathetic. But it's great to see this guy. And then he also mentioned how I heard there's an open challenge to the TNT Championship, which they don't push as much when Cody was TNT Champion. But he says, Sammy, how about he's like, how about we have a match? I wanted to do it tonight, but he just had a grueling match. How about we do it on Wednesday? Sammy Guevara comes back out, has the most serious look on his face, has the mic and says, you're on. Raises the championship. That's going to be a match on Wednesday night. I can't fucking wait. So this is the first person from Ring of Honor to step through the Forbidden Door and sign with AEW. Will the Briscoes make it through? Will Jonathan Gresham make it through? Will PCO make it? I won't say PCO would sign with AEW. I think that's a little too out of his way, but I can see him make an appearance. There are so many talented men and women from Ring of Honor who could step through and sign, who could be on any of these shows. Could we see Roxy become All Elite? Could we see, Quinn McKay become All Elite as a backstage person or a host for one of these AEW shows? Who knows? There is so many things coming up with Ring of Honor going away after Final Battle in December. We'll have to wait and see. I'm very excited to see Jay Lethal. Him and Sammy Guevara, that should be your main event on Wednesday nights. That's going to be a fucking banger. AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page. Would AEW do the right thing, or would they blow it all and fuck over everybody's expectations and the trust that we have in Tony Khan? People don't realize that this was more about a world title match tonight. This match, and yeah, I think the biggest reason that no other titles changed tonight, even if you wanted to see FTR win or you wanted to see Tainari Conti win, I think the biggest reason why there wasn't a title change is because, one, there shouldn't have been another title change outside of the women's match. That title needs to change ASAP. But you were going to save that for the main event. Hangman Adam Page is your AEW World Champion. This was a damn good match. This, yes, outside of like the all-out pay-per-view main event was, of course, Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega. This was a bigger match than that. However, you can't just say, oh, because this was a bigger match at main event than the last one, that this was a better show. This was not a better show than All Out. The 10-man tag match was a comedy match, did not need to be there. The women's championship match had the worst and shittiest fucking ending I have ever seen. They are really pushing, people are really starting to hate the way they're just giving the Faker so much too soon. They're just giving her everything, and they're fucking making everyone else look bad. You don't do what you did tonight in that match and that finish and expect people to keep caring. Until she loses that championship has almost no credibility anymore. Anyway, there was no Young Bucks, there was no Adam Cole. Don Callis was out there, no Dark Order. So it was basically a one-on-one. It was 2-on-1 because for majority of the match we had the typical heel. This was a good heel manager interference thing because Hangman would get out and would be laying on the ropes. Like Kenny Omega distracts the referee, Don Callis pulls his head down, or Hangman's on the outside, Don Callis stomps on him while the referee is distracted. All that good shit. Now, Hangman, you crazy dude. He decided he was going to. They had the camera on the one turnbuckle. That's the one that's by where the ring announcer is. So Hangman had to, Kenny Omega's laying on that, or sitting beside it. Hangman jumps up, takes the fucking camera and pulls it off, goes up and does a flying clothesline through the table for both of them. And to anybody who thought Hangman shouldn't have won the title tonight, fuck off. Did you not hear that crowd? From the time this match started till the time this match ended, everybody wanted Hangman to win the championship. Now, people wanted the One-Wing Angel to be kicked out of by Hangman. I could have seen that and been fine with it, but that did not happen, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I wouldn't have been mad, but it's like, if they want to hold that off and have, I don't want to see Bryan Danielson do it. I think that would be cheat. That would be bad. But I would like to see somebody who needs it. Hangman didn't need to kick out of the One-Wing Angel to beat Kenny Omega. Now, there was a referee bump. Referee goes down. Don Callis gets the championship, goes to hit Hangman Page. Hangman takes him out. And I saw Don Callis was laying on the apron for the rest of the match after this. And I'm like, oh, please tell me they're not going to have Don Callis do something to screw Hangman. Why couldn't he just roll off the apron and all that? But he didn't. Hangman hits the dead eye, and the referee's still down. Aubrey just takes herself and runs clean down to the match. 2 count. The Young Bucks come out. They're hurting. They come down. They just watch. They have the match some more. Hangman hits a buckshot lariat to the back of the back of Kenny Omega. He goes around the other side where Nick is just looking. Hangman looks over at Nick. Nick just nods his head. Nick just nods his head. Page hits another buckshot. 1, 2, 3. Hangman Page is your new AEW Heavyweight Champion of the world. And it's about time. 2 years. 2 years of build. 2.5 years, you could say, of build. This is a culmination of the very first press conference. The very first day, when Hangman goes out there and on that stage and says he wants to be the first ever AEW World Heavyweight Champion. At that time, he was nowhere near ready. I remember back to after that first all-out pay-per-view and people were shitting on AEW for putting the championship on an old vet like Chris Jericho. It was a bad idea. Hangman should have won. No. Then Hangman goes... Well, Hangman was a part of the Elite. Hangman and the Elite have their falling out. Hangman doesn't want to be around the Elite anymore. He's trying to get away from them. Hangman gets put into, like, him and Kenny Omega get thrown into this tag team together. They had the tag team titles for the majority of 2020 before losing them at All Out last year. And that's when the cracks between these broke completely. Because Kenny Omega is just standing in the middle of the ring while Hangman is trying to fall onto him to be fine, to whatever, and Kenny Omega just lets him fall. And Kenny Omega walks away and wants nothing to do with the tag team division again. We get the Eliminator Tournament, and it's that these two are in it. They're on opposite sides. They go to the finals, and Hangman Adam Page just didn't have enough to beat him. So he's out again. Along the way before that match, though, the Young Bucks, who were not tag team champions at the time, were screwed out of a tag team title shot by Hangman Adam Page. And that led to just... that was it. They broke it off and said, you know what? You screwed with us. We don't want anything. You want nothing to do with us? Then fine. We don't want nothing to do with you. And they were done. So, of course, Kenny Omega goes to Winter Is Coming, cheats to win the World Championship, and then eventually the Young Bucks join him, turning heel on Jon Moxley in a 6-man tag match against the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega, forming the Four Elite. Up until, of course, Adam Cole made his debut earlier this year. And the whole time, up until about 4 months ago, anytime somebody brought up Kenny Omega to Hangman, Hangman would not answer a question. He would turn the other way. He would change the subject. He just didn't want anything to do with any of this right now. Then, of course, he was being beat up by everybody. The Dark Order wanted to help him. He didn't want anything to do with the Dark Order for a bit. Then they eventually, they tried to get him to join. He said no. Things went all kind of hell between them for a bit. They came together for a match earlier this year. In July, I believe it was, where if the Hangman won, and if that team won, he would have got his match at All Out. But that didn't happen. They lost. The next week, I believe it was, Hangman got beat up and went away to go have a baby. He comes back, becomes the Joker, and wins the Casino Ladder match, comes to here, has a hell of a match, and becomes the AEW World Championship. Thus, being the first man or woman, first person in AEW to win a casino match and then go on to win the championship. He failed the first time. Nyla Rose failed to win the women's championship when she won the first Casino Battle Royal for the women at All Out. Leo Rush, who was it? Jungle Boy, I believe it was, failed to win when they did the Casino Battle Royal at Double or Nothing. The women's one was Ruby Soho won the Casino Battle Royal, but she did not win the women's championship. So this is the first time a casino winner got the championship, and that was good. Also is the first Joker the first person to win the Joker, be the Joker twice in a casino match and win both times. He's the only person to be the Joker twice, but he's also the only person to be the Joker twice and also win both times. So if Hangman Adam Page is in another casino match in his career, which he shouldn't be for a while, but if he's in another casino match in his career as the Joker, there's probably a high chance he's winning the match. So Hangman's now the champion. You really think that AEW didn't book Norfolk, Virginia, the Wednesday after Full Gear on accident? No. Hangman's coming to his home state, and he's going to get the biggest fucking pop since CM Punk at the First Dance. This is fun. This was great. Kenny Omega. We probably won't see Kenny Omega again after Wednesday night. Should be a fun night on Wednesday. We'll see what happens, but that is your Full Gear review. I would say this is the second best pay-per-view they've done this year. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club, find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and find me on Instagram at The France Club, and I'll see you guys on Monday for another pitiful go-home show to Survivor Series. The final pay-per-view of the year for both major wrestling companies. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.